time. Let's get to Bob Pisani with today's ETF Edge. Hey, Bob.
Listen, thank you. The long-awaited rotation story finally might have some legs. Tech is lagging while value and small caps are suddenly leading the market. What is going on, and is the money following all of these indexes? Let's talk with Paglia. She's State Street's Executive Vice President and the Chief Business Officer for State Street. Anna's in charge of State Street's ETF Index and 401k business, and you run the biggest ETF in the world, SPY, of course. So you see all of the flows here. What about what's going on here? Is the rotation real? Is there money actually following some of these moves in small caps right now?
Well, Bob, if you had asked me the same question last week, I would have given you a different answer. The rotation is becoming real, especially over the last 5 days. We have seen money flowing from large cap sector fund into sector fund that have a little bit of a small cap tilt, just like the State Street sector funds.
So it hasn't been real up until the last week or so. Now it's changed.
That's correct. That's correct. Now we are watching the flow to see if this change over the last 5 days is sustainable.
All right.
If it is a trend more than a glitch.
I want to ask you about the other side of this, because the other side of the small cap is the value trade. What about the value trade? S&P Value ETF, you manage that, you oversee that one. That's hit a new high as well. Is there any signs that traditional value sectors, and I'm talking industrials, energy, materials, and some of the financials, is there any sign that that's happening, that value is actually finally coming to the fore again?
We have seen a big uptick in financials and home builders, industrials. These are definitely coming back into the small cap conversation.
So XLI, and that's one other fund that you oversee. That's the S&P Sector Index. Again, she's the overseer of all of this stuff. I haven't seen inflows up until a little while ago. And again, we're getting this debate now. Is this real? We were laughing about this last week as a one-day wonder. Now it's a one-week wonder. Is there any reason to believe this is going to continue, though?
We believe it is going to continue because people are watching at data, market, the CPI data has been definitely the driver. And I do think it's not a one-week wonder. There is the potential to continue.
I want to ask you very quickly about bond funds. We're seeing a lot of inflows into high yield. I find that rather curious. They're moving up here. You have a big high yield fund, SPHY. That's been seeing inflows. What do you think is going on here?
What we are observing is that investors are using a risk-on appetite. There is a risk appetite that we have not seen in a while. So high yield, investment grade, senior loans, they are all registering positive flows.
ETFs are now, I've been covering this for 20 years, ETFs are finally approaching a $10 trillion business. It's a really important mark we're just hitting right now. You're doing a panel discussion tonight on the next $10 trillion. Where is the next $10 trillion in the ETF business coming from?
Well, it's coming from different places. Customization is going to become really important. What we see with the wrapper is that innovation is a never-ending story, and clients' appetite and client sentiment are changing. New clients are coming, retail clients, do-it-yourself investors are coming. So the next $1 trillion is going to be really different, but still driven by the same strength of the wrapper.
We're going to talk about this coming up. There's a lot more on this coming up on the great rotation and how it's being played out in the ETF space. That's going to come up on ETF Edge, 1:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Anna's going to be joined by ETF journalist Dave Noddick, who will discuss broader ETF trends for the rest of the year. ETFEdge.cnbc.com.